Hey, folks, thanks so much for checking into the Neutral Zone Hotel. We are an unapologetically left-leaning podcast that handles hockey at its best and worst. My name is Benjamin. My pronouns are he, him. I'm a Montreal Canadiens and Ottawa Charge fan. I'm really thrilled you've chosen to join us at the Neutral Zone Hotel. I'm joined by a couple of my colleagues, starting with Emily.
What's up, everyone? I'm Emily, they, she. I am a Colorado Avalanche and Buffalo Sabres fan, and also a general PWHL fan until potentially one of the new expansion teams wins me over, or we get a team in Denver.
We also have Trevor along.
Hi, everybody. Trevor here. My pronouns are he, him. Vancouver Canucks fan, regretfully. A Vancouver Golden Knights fan, very hopeful for that. And also shout outs to the Vancouver Rise, your inaugural National Super League women's soccer champions in Canada.
That's right. And joining us for their first shift at the Neutral Zone Hotel is Madison.
Hello, I'm Madison. My pronouns are she, they. I am a Colorado Avalanche and University of Denver hockey fan. I also, like women's sports, especially the PWHL.
All right, folks. Well, thanks so much for joining us. We do have a couple things we want to talk about today, but I think we're going to just jump right into talking about the PWHL preseason. So as we get a little bit closer to the official puck drop this weekend coming up, the PWHL has now run through its, what SJ dismissively continues to call inter-roster scrimmaging. But we can call it, for their purposes, we can call it the preseason, right?
Absolutely.
Sure.
So
it's before the season, ergo preseason. It's fine.
That's
So
right. I don't think that the individual outcome of the games is terribly relevant. Minnesota and New York split their series. Montreal beat Boston 3-2 twice. Ottawa lost to Toronto twice. And Seattle and Vancouver split their series. But I think my first question is how are people feeling coming out of preseason, especially with the news of cuts starting to leak out today?
I don't know, just give me the
I don't
season
think I saw anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen the cuts.
The Golden Eyes have started making cuts officially.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were the only one I saw.
Yeah.
Apparently
I don't think I was shocked by any of those. I should see if there are any others.
I wanted to say I was slightly shocked by some of them, but at the same time, considering the roster they had amassed outside of that, it wasn't too shocking. The only one that I was slightly eye-opened at was, I believe they cut I think it was their 4th round pick, but their 5th round pick is still on the team.
Which, you know what? Sometimes you just love those deep late round picks.
I feel like once you get to a later round pick, it's it could be. It could be any of them. Is there a functional difference between a 4th and 5th round? Yeah.
So it looks like they've cut Shanreet Bassey and Brianna Brooks. Yeah. Bassey being the last pick in the draft, 48th overall, and Brooks being 32nd. Yeah. So they cut their 4th and their 6th round picks. So far, they haven't cut their 5th round pick.
Madison Samoskevich, right?
Yeah.
They did cut Madison Clough, though, and that's unacceptable. We hate to see that happening.
Is that just because it's a Madison?
Absolutely.
We still got one.
Okay.
We still got
we still got one, though. So. Hate to see bad things happen to a Madison.
Can't allow the Madison count in the PWHL to drop too much.
Yeah.
Rosters have to be finalized tomorrow, so by the time this comes out, you should be able to find out who is on your PWHL team and who isn't. A really interesting fact, something that I picked up through a PWHL fan Discord, is 1-year contracts signed after June 20th are not guaranteed. So for most teams, this is 2 contracts, but for the Charge, it is 10. Almost anyone on the Charge roster is currently on a non-guaranteed contract.
Yikes.
That's wild.
That is nuts.
Yeah, so I'm going to go dig out the full list now. This is
I don't know how I feel about the concept of having non-guaranteed contracts. I don't like that.
Oh, we are going to talk about non-guaranteed contracts at some point over the next couple days. But the truth is that in the NHL, players had to fight very, very hard to get guaranteed contracts. And the fact that the PWHL doesn't have them.
I don't think it's the norm in the NFL yet either.
Nope.
It's like a big deal if someone gets a non-guaranteed contract.
I don't think any of the major men's sports, at least US-based, besides hockey, have guaranteed. I don't think either baseball or basketball is. Although I'd have to double check that.
I obviously see why an athlete would want it, since it's inherently a very risky job that's depending on your body holding up, and so many things can go wrong, which I think we will talk about later as well.
So a very quick Google tells me that the NFL is not guaranteed, but most NBA and MLB contracts are.
Oh, right.
Okay.
So the NHL got fully guaranteed contracts, I think, in the 94 CBA. It was a notable bone of contention between the union and the league. Sorry, it was a notable bone of contention between the union rank and file and union leadership in the 1980s, which is why it's something that we're probably going to discuss over at some point in the next few weeks. But yeah, very hard fought, and certainly not something that's in the current CBA. Another thing that was really interesting that happened is I got to go to a preseason game for the first time ever. The PWHL has welcomed fans into the building for the preseason. In Ottawa, they gave season ticket holders free tickets to the first preseason game. So that was a very interesting experience. It was interesting because we were the only ones there. There's maybe 1,600 people. Probably not everyone could make it, but everyone in the building was a season ticket holder or knew a season ticket holder. So,
how did gameplay compare to regular season games?
There's definitely some rust out there. We did not see the big stars. So Ottawa didn't play Brianne Jenner or Ronja Savalainen or Gwyneth Phillips. Toronto didn't play Spooner or Daryl Watts. So we did get to see Renata Fast out there, and Emily Clark and Rory Gilday was really great to see for Ottawa, to see that first round pick. But there's definitely a lot of rust. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of new players to the league trying to prove themselves. The one that really, really stood out for me for Toronto was, let me just pull up the game report. Zanon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really, really good gameplay. And for Ottawa, it was Fariza Katarakova, who is one of the Russian players that they brought over.
Did both of the Russian girls play in your game?
They both did. They played on a line with Mann and McMahon. I have to say that Anna Shokina's game was concerning.
Uh-oh. Was she the early one, or was she like the last?
She was the early one, yeah. She was the
She was
the second round pick. I don't think it's like
not great.
It's not concerning in like she doesn't have it way. It's concerning in I think she's going to need some time way, because she's very, very clearly used to being the best player on the ice in all situations. She was she looked good on the power play where she could get a little bit more space, but she didn't look like she had to work to create the space. So I think that once she learns, she has to move a little bit more and really get herself into a more advantageous positions against better talent. She has the possibility to be a world beater. But
till then,
yeah, I mean, Ottawa is going to need scoring from day one. It's going to be a problem with this team. So, Ottawa played both Saniahola and Logan Angers. It's not pronounced Angers. I apologize to you, Logan. I'm sorry. And Sanio looked really good, and Logan did not. So Toronto played Julie the whole game, and she was good.
Yeah, as expected.
As expected. It's a preseason game, so no matter what, they were going to play an overtime and a shootout.
Oh,
Although
that's
it went to an
interesting choice.
Yeah, it's as part of player evaluation. You want to get
I
a little
like
bit
it.
of
I
3 on
think
3.
that's cool.
Yeah. And what's important is that although Ottawa lost the game in overtime, they won the shootout. So that means they had the moral victory, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
Deserve to win meter is like clearly swinging their direction.
It was interesting. I'm sure that as the PWHL seeks to capitalize and increase their revenue, that preseason games, like any other, will become spectacles. But it was very interesting to go to one that was just a gift. And you have to wonder if the reason they chose to do that is because of the challenges the market's seeing around Lansdowne 2.0. It came out today that the league is 100% not going to play at that new arena. They are refusing. They say they don't want to leave Ottawa and that everything's on the table. So who knows what that means?
Yeah, if they don't want to leave Ottawa, but they can't play at 2.0, I don't know what that leaves other than
the CTC.
Go to the Canadian Tire Center until the downtown arena is done.
Woof. Yeah.
They have the best attendance in the league, right? So theoretically, they've got enough of a fan base who's probably willing to trek out there, but that doesn't seem ideal.
So
it's
hasn't
a big
worked well
ass.
for New York.
My assumption is that they'd do okay at the CTC, but I don't think they'll go to the CTC unless they have a deal in hand with Andlauer to be a tenant at the new building when it's complete.
Which seems reasonable.
So if Andlauer is not interested in giving them a deal to start, then they'll probably look to move the team. And if Andlauer is going to be a partner and on board and potentially maybe even a future owner of the Charge, then I think they'll go to the CTC for however many years they have to. The good-ish news is that the city of Ottawa is very bad at public projects. So the likelihood that they complete Lansdowne 2.0 for the 2028 date is not high. And
do we know when the new arena, the downtown arena, is supposed to be done?
2030. And it's
okay. So potentially they could be done at the same time.
Yeah, and at least Andlauer is driving that one personally, but there's a lot more negotiation because it's on federal land. So it's a complex situation.
To also go back a little bit, Madison, you mentioned how it hasn't worked for New York. At least Ottawa's put up enough results and goodwill with their fan base, whereas New York's just kind of fallen flat on their face for 2 years at this point.
Oh, I definitely think Ottawa has a better chance of making it work. And I really don't want Ottawa to lose a team. Like, that would just be really sad. I would hate that.
It would make our friend Benjamin very sad.
Yes,
And we don't
not
want
even
that.
just for Benjamin's sake, but like for the community of Ottawa. Like, I think they deserve a team. And I think they've more than earned having a team. So,
well, the conversations,
I want the best for them.
The conversations of the preseason game were really interesting because people were concerned. They're concerned about what's going to happen to this team. They don't want to lose it. So I've said this before, but the people who sit around me, I'm the token straight guy, and I'm surrounded by queer people of many types. But the conversation was the same. There is an identity with the team that they have very, very quickly absorbed into themselves. It's very important to them as Ottawans and as sports fans. And I think losing the team would be really devastating, like on a personal piece for them. The people who love the Charge deeply. And I think that's pretty cool. So their concerns are very real. And I said, I don't think they're going to go. I think they are going to try to make it stick. Ottawa has a lot of what they're looking for. It has a lot of women who have a lot of disposable income because they work for the government. It's got a good hockey history. It's got a good history with women's hockey specifically. I don't know how many times I've said that TD Place Arena is the first to play, where hosted the first ever women's worlds, but it's true. It's a market that they want to be in, and I think they'll find a way to make it work, even if that means we have to go to the CTC for a couple of seasons.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm disappointed for a lot of reasons. They chose to go ahead with the plan that they had, and I understand why the league is reluctant and concerned. And they're worried. They're worried. They're worried that the charge could go like what one person said to me is, I hear that Mark Walter is really interested in having a team in Chicago, and I think Chicago Charge is a really good sounding name. And I said, yeah, that's concerning, but we don't even know what the market's like in Chicago for women's hockey. They haven't had a takeover game there yet.
I would be surprised if they moved it to Chicago.
Yeah, that does not
immediately.
Feel
like that seems like something that they would have to give a lot more consideration to.
Chicago doesn't have the arena. I mean, you can put them at Allstate, but Allstate has a very successful hockey franchise. It's in the northern end of the city-ish. Maybe Chicago is a great place for a team, but we won't know for a while. I've said this before, but my guess is they're going to Denver, and they'll probably consider Detroit.
If they don't go to Denver in the next expansion, I think Emily and I might riot. For sure. I mean, I will.
That's my thing.
The city of Vancouver.
You got a team.
They didn't even name them the Vancouver Riots. They could have made
Golden Eyes is pretty sick, though, especially with that logo.
The name is growing on me, but that logo is fire. What a great logo.
It's so cool.
It is really good.
Quick.
I think if it was just the name, I'd be like, it's okay, but the logo is just so sick.
Quick round thing, because I've got the Victoire jersey on right now, so we got the logo right here. Golden Eyes logo versus Victoire logo. Which one's the better one?
Golden Eyes. The only thing I don't like about Victoire is I don't like that it has the name.
But the word mark along top. So
I think if it didn't have the word mark, I think it would be the winner.
Keep in mind too, we also don't fully know whether that the word mark that's in the Vancouver Golden Eyes will be part of the full logo, or if it's just going to be the eye. Because I do think that changes a lot.
They're using just the eye on the website.
Yeah. I was assuming we're working with just the eye, in which case I gotta hand it to Vancouver.
The eye is really good. The eye is really good.
I think if it's just the eye, they take it. But if it got the Vancouver Golden Eyes around it, I think I give it to Montreal. They're both good, though. Top two in the league, hands down. And poor Seattle, bottom of the list.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're still second last for me, but yeah.
Who do you have as worst?
Minnesota.
Did you not listen to the episode last week?
Yeah, no, I'm behind. I was doing theater things. I'm so behind.
Theater.
It's not even just last week. We've been talking about Minnesota being the worst for years now.
Minnesota's logo is fucking that's so bad.
That's fair. I don't hate it. I don't think they use the space as well as they could, but I don't hate it the way people seem to. Maybe I just like the purple.
Hideous.
It needs to go from this angle to this angle.
I don't
center it.
I don't hate the logo.
Yeah,
I just hate the way it looks on the jersey.
They have too much dead space.
I think it could be good. It's not it doesn't take worst for me just because I feel like it could, with a few tweaks, be good. But yeah.
Well,
anyway.
So by the next time we get together, I will have gone to a season opener. I think Trevor, you'll have gone to a season opener.
Sure will.
Will SJ be at theirs? Let's see.
I don't think so. I want to say the Torrent has the second last one.
Yeah, the Seattle one's on the 28th.
Yeah.
So
were
they actually have the last
saying
one.
That there was? I thought they said there was potentially busing from Seattle to the Vancouver home opener, although I
Apparently
don't
that
know if
is
they
happening.
were going.
That
so
is-
sick.
Yeah, I don't know if
love
they were
that.
going
cool.
to that, though.
Oh, SJ's not going. No.
Oh,
Okay.
At least I don't think so. Pretty sure they're not.
Yeah,
I would imagine if they were, they would have mentioned it to me so we could plan something ahead of the game. But
that would
I don't know.
make sense.
Maybe I'll just get surprised
it's
by
not a
5-0.
long drive. I've
3
done
hours.
it many times as a child, like a car seat child.
I've driven that far to go to a hockey game before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't do the driving, but I was definitely a passenger for that length of a trip several times.
It's not quite 3 hours, is it?
I don't think
Wasn't
so.
it about 3 hours between
Maybe with
Ottawa and
traffic.
Montreal?
It's 2. Ottawa and Toronto, or Ottawa and Montreal is 2.
Okay. Maybe it was
Yeah.
3. Well, we also had to deal with the snow that one time, so it was closer to 3. But yeah. It depends. Well, the one problem, I guess it depends when you leave, because it is going to be a Friday, but presumably you leave early enough that you get it before the rush hour. Because there's one time I took a road trip to go visit a friend down in Washington, and it took 2 hours to get from Vancouver to Seattle. And what would normally be another hour from Seattle to the town he lives in took 3. And that is when I learned you do not mess with American rush hour on Fridays.
No, you really don't.
Oh, yeah, no.
Or ever.
That freeway system, like that exit on off ramp on ramp system, makes no sense.
And now for the American Infrastructure Hour.
Wouldn't be the
Okay.
first time.
Oh, I could talk about American infrastructure for a really long time. What a
It
great
is-
first impression that would be.
It is officially a 3-hour and 3-minute drive from Climate Pledge Arena to Rogers Arena. And it took me this long to figure it out because I kept going, which one is it? Is it Rogers Place? Is it Rogers Center?
There's too many Rogers.
Too many Rogers.
This is also where there's 2 things to point out. Number one, that they added a 4th one. So, because outside of Rogers Place in Edmonton and Rogers Arena in Vancouver, there's the Rogers Center in Toronto, which houses the Blue Jays, and the Abbotsford Canucks now play at Rogers Forum.
Yep.
Absolutely not.
Make
And
it
number
stop.
2, Benjamin, why would you look up Rogers Arena? That's not where the game's being played.
Man, I don't fucking know. there are 5 Rogers places.
Oh no, there's another.
So if you are not on our Discord at neutralzonehotel.com/Discord, feel free to join. You can go to the Sports General channel and scroll up to see where I went through every major league in Canada and posted every single place they play and looking for branding experiences to see which industries and, so that's how I know there are, for example.
My God, it's Nat Bailey. No, it's Rogers Field, Nat Bailey Stadium. No, why is there 3 here?
Outstanding plug for the Discord, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get your plugs in. So yes, Rogers does 5. Rogers Arena for the Canucks and the Warriors. Rogers Center for the Jays. Rogers Field at Nat Bailey Stadium for the Vancouver Canadians, which is a 2nd-tier soccer league, I think.
Baseball,
right. Rogers Forum for the Abbotsford Canucks. That's the new one. And Rogers Place for the Oilers and Oil Kings. Leo has joined the call. Madison, do you want to explain Leo?
Yes, Leo is my very orange cat. He's also really loud. So if you hear meowing, it's probably my sweet child, Leo.
There's a lot of L pets in this team of ours. We can't help it.
I was expecting more Scotiabank ones, but there's only 3. There's 5 you can consider TD Place, Arena, and Stadium to be different. But the ones that got me is that there's 2 Slush Puppy branded arenas in Canada.
Stop.
We've been to one of them.
There's the one that is near me,
Unbelievable.
Centre Slush Puppy in Gatineau. But there's also one in Kingston, Slush Puppy Place, where the Kingston Frontenacs play.
I knew that one too. I've heard
Slush Puppy is so funny.
I've heard that one from another podcast. I should have known that.
The one that gets me, the one that really sends me, is where the Newfoundland Regiment play in St. John's, which is the Mary Brown Center. And it's just, it's so funny. And it makes sense. Mary Brown's is like It's a fried chicken chain out of Newfoundland that is competing and defeating KFC in the Canadian market space.
Good
Love
for
that for
them.
them.
But it's just such a Newfoundlander thing to have a Mary Brown Center. It is exactly what you would want.
Sorry. I'm going through this list now, and I think we can all agree what the worst one on this list is, right?
It's 100% the visit Lethbridge.com arena for the Lethbridge Hurricanes.
Just be the Lethbridge Arena. Why?
But then it's not obviously sponsored by the Lethbridge Board of Tourism.
And that is so the hoteliers board of Lethbridge purchased the rights, and it is now visit Lethbridge.com arena.
You know what? Still better than crypto.com.
Yeah, it's close. They're neck and neck, but I think crypto still takes it for absolute worst arena name maybe of all time.
It's the joke in the new Naked Gun movie calling it PonziScheme.com arena made me laugh so hard.
I love that.
The other one that I keep calling out is where the Trois Rivières Eagles play. So that's the ECHL affiliate of the Canadiens, and they play at Stade Quilorama. Quilorama is just a bowling alley. There's just like this big bowling alley in Quebec that is sponsored
That's so
in ECHL.
sick. That's amazing. I love that.
That would be like the Colorado Eagles playing at Chipper's Bowling Lanes Arena or something. I'm obsessed.
Sorry, I just realized too. So you in this list, you have it all listed. It's like, banking/investing, construction/housing, a bleeping bowling alley.
Yeah, it just says, and then there's just some local guy because when Prince Albert, which is a very small town, was redoing their arena, they did a big drive, and a local millionaire gave $1 million, and they just named the arena after him.
That seems appropriate.
Sure.
That doesn't seem insane.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's where like college hockey arena names come from, generally speaking, which is
Oh, yeah.
a
It's
world
just
that
very-
I'm familiar with.
It's just very funny to me.
Definitely funny.
So yeah, that's something you can find on the Discord, is an analysis of Canadian arena and stadium names, which is absolutely not interesting to anybody, but boy, can it be funny. All right, folks, we're going to take a short break. I'm going to do the call to action. So if you're listening, you're having fun, 5 stars, thumbs up, smash the like button, jump on our Discord, neutralzonehotel.com/Discord. We're at Bluesky and YouTube at Neutral Zone Hotel. And yeah, we'll be right back.
And now, your PWHL season previews in the form of limericks.
The Ottawa Charge. With their new Russian players along, the city has done the charge wrong. Lansdowne 2.0 is here, and the league has been clear. They might just be saying so long.
Minnesota Frost. Not once but twice they've won the cup. Now we hope their time is up. Say fuck Brita Curl, let's give it a whirl. A new team to lift the Walter Cup.
The Boston Fleet. Our captain left to go sail western seas, but we still have solid goaltending in D. And after free agent signing, all fans will be pining. Someone just score us a goal, please.
All right, Toronto Scepter's Limerick, here we go. A season with healthy Nat Spooner? Shelton makes the defense lunar. With Renata fast, they won't come in last. Could the season get here any sooner?
Seattle Torrent. A stacked roster led by a knight. They're ready to bring the fight. But in hockey we know pucks don't always go unless a torrent of water ignites.
The New York Sirens. The old guard is gone in the draft. Carpenter treated like riffraff. To Kaltunkova they say, she'll rescue the day. Maybe now the New York market will laugh.
The Vancouver Golden Eyes. With brand new eyes all set upon Walter, a stacked roster that hopefully won't falter. Amidst other fan cries, watching their team's demise after an expansion that made them all salters.
Montreal Victoire. Poulin, Stacy, and Rock don't think they came to talk. It's their battle to lose, and they're turning the screws until the playoffs make them balk.
Hey, folks, we're back. Thanks so much for hanging on. So we're going to talk about a segment that I have called, quote, how does this impact the Maple Leafs, end quote. And that is about the struggles of the Toronto Maple Leafs and Brad Treliving getting in front of the media today and saying he had that Craig Berube has his full support. So how are we feeling about the Toronto? They don't really get enough coverage. So I think we are the first ones to do this. How do we feel about the Toronto Maple Leafs, folks?
It's an exclusive
Berube's
NCH for sure.
Definitely getting canned before Christmas.
Oh, yeah. No, anytime I see this, I'm like, ooh, that just if you say that you have full confidence in a coach, they're getting fired real soon.
Having watched the Sabres profess full confidence in several coaches who then almost immediately got fired, I know how this song goes.
Play the hits, baby.
So to set the scene, Toronto is currently 9th in the wild card race, second last in the East. They're 8-9-2 with 18 points. That's a fake 474.
Wow.
That's
-5.
bad. I don't think I realized it was that bad.
Now, it's bad, but they're only 4 points out of a playoff spot right now. Because
the Atlantic
the East is weird.
Joke.
But they are tied with the Buffalo Sabres on everything except for wins versus overtime losses.
Wow.
That's bad.
Wow.
That is extremely bad.
I knew Mitch Marner leaving was gonna, I knew the Toronto fans that basically ran him out of town were gonna be like, oh, maybe that was a bad choice. But I did not think they'd be this god awful this year. It's truly shocking.
So for the league, they're 28th in the league.
Holy shit. That's bad.
Again, 18 points. The Sabres have 18. The Blues and Predators have 16, and the Flames are at 13. So it's not a great year. I think it's important at this point to note that the Toronto Maple Leafs do not have their first round pick unless it's top 5. So right now they are in a position. If we go to the draft today and someone from outside the top 5 wins, Toronto Maple Leafs have to give us the 6th overall pick to the Boston Bruins.
Of course it's the Boston. That's so funny. Oh man, the chaos in me wants that to win, to happen so bad. That'd be so funny.
All right,
I feel bad for let me caveat. I don't feel fully bad. I feel kind of bad that they're always the butt end of the joke with this, and it's always with Boston involved. God damn it! It's so funny to watch themselves constantly shoot themselves in the foot with this.
It is so
you
funny.
think they'd learn?
So I want to read a little bit of I'm looking at the Athletic article by Jonas Siegel right now. I want to read a couple of the quotes from Brad Treliving on here. We're not where we want to be or envision to be. Obviously, we've underperformed to this point. I think there's been too much vanilla with our team. I think you can count on one hand how many full, complete games we've had. I believe in Craig and his messaging. Craig didn't become a bad coach overnight. So Craig Berube, for reference, is a career, before this year started with Toronto, 625 games coached as a head coach, 333 wins, 214 losses, and 76 OTLs. So he is above 500 as a coach. And he has a Stanley Cup. He obviously has that incredible Stanley Cup run with St. Louis in 2019.
But are we ready to admit that was kind of a fluke?
I think we've been ready to admit that was a fluke since the day it happened.
I'm not trying to take anything away from St. Louis fans. It was honestly as a Blues hater, it was a really fun ride. But also are we really saying Berube is the reason that happened?
So if you're a Blues fan and you want to yell at Madison in person, you can join our Discord at neutralzonehotel.com/Discord. Go into Hockey Chat, hit at Madison and say, you are a fucking asshole. I love the Blues and they're perfect.
I mean,
I get enough of this. My boss at work is a Blues fan. This is every day for me.
Even if it was a fluke, I'd take one of those at this point.
Oh yeah, no, like a fluke is fun sometimes. Like absolutely,
It still
like
counts.
it still counts. They won a cup and it was super fun, and like that was a really fun team.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know that we gotta hand that one to Craig Berube.
I think that Craig Berube is probably a better coach than his last couple seasons in St. Louis indicate, but I don't think he's the type of coach that should be that should be handed a high-powered, offensive star-laden roster like the one the Toronto Maple Leafs had last year. I don't think that Craig Berube forcing Austin Matthews to block shots is valuable to what the Leafs had built as an organization. I think there was a belief that he could make them become more defensively responsible. But the simple fact is that Austin Matthews, if you look at the advanced stats, is one of the most valuable defending forwards in the league and has been for some time. He is an exceptional player who has probably earned more Selke nods than he's gotten because it's still kind of a reputation-based award. I think the problem they're having right now is their defense core is old and not very good. Austin Matthews isn't playing very well, and their bottom six is not good. They just terminated David Kampf, and he ended up in Vancouver. And you know, in a league where the cap go up, we have to ask ourselves, where is the money? And why haven't they spent it well? And it just comes down to Brad Treliving has done the same thing in Toronto that he did in Calgary, which is laden it with deals that are not good and use up the extra dollars. David Kampf was one of those, and they were lucky to get out of it. But, I mean, yeah, they got, what's his name from Dallas? Tanev. One of the Tanevs.
Chris
Tanev.
There's too many Tanevs.
Very good player. Should they have committed to him for 6 years or whatever? No.
Probably
No.
not.
Absolutely
He's
not.
very old and also very beat up.
It's not
Brandon,
even that he's not like as old as you think, but he's got so many hard miles on him. Like he's 34, 35 now,
35.
but he's basically a 40-year-old with all the injuries and whatnot he's taken over the years.
I thought he was a very good addition for the playoff run. I thought that maybe a 2-year extension would have been smart, but they gave him like a 5 or 6 year extension.
Yep.
They gave him a 6-year
40.
extension. Jake McCabe at age 32 just got a 5-year extension at $4.51 million a year. And again, Jake McCabe's not a bad hockey player, but
He old.
do you really want him on the cap for 5 years? And even with cap go up, it's too much money. The Brandon Carlo trade has been an absolute disaster, especially when you consider one went back on the other end, because, you know, there's that first round pick we were just talking about. And then you look up front, obviously Nick Waugh has not been what they wanted or expected when they got him back as the compensation for Mitch Marner. Matthias Michelli certainly looks like he is what he showed in his last season in Utah, not the season previous. And Matthew Nyes is not living up to the contract they signed him to. So I kind of come down to, and they were in the position they were in the offseason again, where they didn't have enough money and they weren't sure if they're going to be able to sign Nick Robertson. They had to trade him. So Craig Berube may or may not be a good coach. I don't think he's the right coach for this roster, but Brad Treliving is a bad general manager. And I think that's where the issues truly are.
I imagine he gets fired soon. Not before. They'll fire Berube first, but I mean, it has to be coming down the pike. Like, he's been so bad. How many coaches have to be fired because of him?
Yeah. They might give him another year or two just because, he hasn't had enough time with this roster and coaching, and they'll find some bullshit excuse.
I think it's important to note that Treliving was not the choice of the current Maple Leafs administration. He was the choice of Brendan Shanahan, and Brendan Shanahan is gone. the attitude or the appetite to waste the rest of Austin Matthews' 20s in Toronto is not high. So if they don't correct and get into the playoffs this year and go deep, I would not be surprised if they clear everyone out.
I think
fair.
they should. I think it's more than time to do so.
I understand you just got rid of Shanahan. You're going to give Treliving a year, but the team is free falling right now. They're winning right now in their game against the Blues, but it's worth noting two things. One, they're tied. The Blues have just tied it up. It's worth noting two things. One is that they're playing the Blues, which is one of the only teams in the league that's worse than them. And two, William Nylander scored the first Blues goal by knocking it into his own net out of the air for no reason.
Does that count as a Leafs goal then?
No.
Unfortunately, no.
It was credited.
Man.
It was credited as own goal to Nathan Walker. Sorry. It was credited as own goal to Nathan Walker, Dingo ate your baby, etc., etc.
Sorry. So
Apologies
you
to the entire
mentioned
nation of
how
Australia.
if Berube gets fired, how many coaches can you go through? On a whim, Kyle Dubas was the GM in Toronto for what, 7-8 years?
No, not
Something
that
like
long.
No,
Okay,
definitely
five-
not that
five
long. Because I remember the Tumblr girlies being like, "Wow, look how hot this new GM
He
is."
got hired in 2018 to be the general manager. Like that's when he took over and left.
Yeah, okay.
6 years later. He only had two coaches under his tenure, and that was Babcock and Keith.
5
so
years.
Only one firing.
It was 5 years.
All right. Treliving, if this is what, year 3 under Brad, if they fire Berube, that's already more coaches he's fired than they had under Dubas. So I think that's a very fair point. How many coaches can you go through before you kind of have to look higher up? Because that's already cycling through more than you did with your prior regime that already had a problem.
The general assumption in the modern NHL is that each GM gets the coach they come in with. If you clear the coach out right away and hire a new coach, that's your first coach. Then you get one coach after that, and then they look at the GM. That's the general assumption. And that's held true for most
reasonable.
GMs. Yeah, it's held true for most modern GMs, except Steve Yzerman. He gets as many as he wants, apparently. But like the
That's
appetite
the
in Toronto
danger
is
of
real.
being emotionally invested in a GM.
Well, no, hold on. Isn't this only like Yzerman's second coach in Detroit?
No,
third?
he had Blashill,
No way.
Blashill forever.
and then he had Lalonde, and now he's on McLellan. Todd McLellan.
Yeah.
So
Fair,
he's on
that's fair.
3 coaches, not 2. So yeah, like I think that the appetite in Toronto is real to win, and it should be. You have one of the, on any given day, 5 best players in the league, maybe one at any given day, 3 best players in the league on your team. You have William Nylander, who's a top 20 guy. You should
When
be
he's
trying to
not
go
scoring goals against himself.
for it. And you have a very effective John Tavares on an absolute sweetheart deal. Right? Like
Potentially
Tavares,
the only good contract in Toronto.
and he's been excellent this year. If you look at the advanced stats, he's crushing the goals percentage and XG percentage. You know, he's bat 5-on-5 and on power play. He's been phenomenal. And you know, I'll say I'm a big defender of the Tavares, the originally $11 million Tavares deal in Toronto. I think it was a good deal even with the pandemic. And I think that if the cap had gone up as expected, it would have been an even better deal. But he's given them an absolute sweetheart deal now. He could have gotten $7 million somewhere else. I think easily. So,
But he didn't have that team's bed sheets as a kid.
no, and when a player gives you a sweetheart deal, you should be doing everything in your power to build around them. Are you listening, Stan
Absolutely.
Bowman? Maybe go out and get a fucking goalie.
But no, Jake Wallman at $7+ million is much more important than a goalie.
Oh,
I like Jake
100%.
Wallman, but holy crap, that's dumb.
I can't. Anytime I hear anything about the Oilers, like business side, I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. This can't be real. And yet, it continues to be real.
They're just pissing it away. They're just pissing it away. The other piece is Mitch Marner. And I think that any conversation of the Maple Leafs over this year and the next year is going to be like, what if they had been able to retain Mitch? What if he hadn't been threatened with death by crazy Toronto fans? And when you go and look at what he's doing in Vegas with a center who is very similar in a lot of ways to the way that Matthews plays, I don't think there's any comparison. He's crushing it over there.
Unfortunately, Vegas is really, really good this year.
I feel like it's just an evergreen statement at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun for like the first run. It wasn't unfortunate, but we can slap it unfortunate on there.
I had a very fun discussion watching that CPL final with someone who watches a lot of women's sports, but not so much men's. And I got to explain to them why we all hate Vegas. And I got to go on an impassioned 10-minute rant about everything related to Vegas. And then I got into the Carter Hart bit.
Yeah.
It's
the
here's
Carter
this
Hart bit really sealed the deal for me. I was like, oh, I don't just like have bad feelings towards this team. I actively hate them.
Like, here's this giant mountain of reasons we all don't like them. And then here's this other reason that Vegas decided to drop their pants and take a giant dump all over.
I got to say, it was really nice of the Vegas Golden Knights to rescue Edmonton Oilers from the place that only shitheads want to play.
Yeah, I really did think that it was going to be hard to the Oilers for sure. So, way to redeem Edmonton a little bit.
Well, he said he wouldn't play in Canada.
Yeah, I think they thought it was going to be hard to the Oilers. I think the Oilers thought that. And then he told them he wasn't going to play in Canada. And then they were like, well, we've done nothing and we're all out of ideas to get a goalie.
Yep.
Oh, man.
I think I know exactly who I'd be going for if I was Sam Bowman. But I'm not Sam Bowman. I kept calling him Sam Bowman. I apologize to all the Sam Bowmans out there. I'm not Stan Bowman. I have never covered up the crimes of a hockey coach who works for me. So, that's probably for the best. But yeah, like
I'd agree.
There are goalies out there. Go get one. Okay, we've talked so much about the Maple Leafs that now we are talking about the Oilers. So let's talk about Jack Hughes and his freak injury. So my first question is, in your opinion, what actually happened at the steakhouse?
Oh, they were definitely playing like knife fingers.
That feels like a strong. No, they were sword fighting with steak knives.
Ooh,
I had a classmate
like
in 6th grade who ended up on crutches for several weeks because he and his little brother were sword fighting with steak knives and he got stabbed in the thigh. So I've seen it happen.
Trevor, what's your guess?
They had a few too many drinks, and he decided to recreate Hamlet with his goblet in his hand, saying to be or not to be.
So my theory is that someone said to Jack Hughes, you're a great player, but you're hurt too much. It's like you're made of glass. And he picked up his beer mug and he said, glass is stronger than you think. And he squeezed it really hard and it exploded in his hand.
What is it? Okay, Benjamin, this is a joke just for you, but what's with guys named Jack and Glass?
It's not great, man. It's not great. So for those who don't know, Devils forward Jack Hughes is out for 8 weeks with a lacerated hand following an event that has been described as him leaning on a glass during an event, a team event at a steakhouse. People are downvoting the steakhouse for injuring Jack Hughes on Yelp.
That feels inappropriate.
I think that anyone who has a game against the New Jersey Devils over the next 8 weeks should be going and giving them 5 stars for getting rid of their best player.
Absolutely.
I think all the teams that are visiting should go eat there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like and tip the sir who was seeing Jack Hughes. Here's an extra $100 sort of deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like thanks for taking him out. That's what I'd do.
Yeah, just like take a glass, kind of break it on the ground, take a photo beside it, being like, here's me with the glass that took out Jack.
But I thought
that to socials, it would do numbers.
I thought in light of the discussion, it'd be fun to go to remember some freak injuries. Folks, we are going to talk about a couple things that get a little graphic. We're going to stay away from the really tragic ones. I don't want to hear about, car crashes and stuff. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the ones where players were hurt, but their careers recovered. Or they were really old in the case of Joe Sakic and almost done anyway.
Importantly, weird injuries.
Yeah, it's gotta be like funny injuries. So, Madison, Emily, do one of you want to walk us through Joe Sakic's snowblower injury?
I mean, the man stuck his hand in a snowblower.
Conn Smythe
I think
winner,
it was a jammed snowblower, and
Hockey Hall of Fame member, Stanley Cup winning general manager, hand in snowblower man.
Who among us has never been like, what if I stuck my hand in the snowblower? What if I put my hand in the garbage disposal?
my grandfather, who was an engineer, lost part of his finger trying to unjam a snowblower by sticking his hand in it. So,
Well, there we go. Maybe Joe Sakic's not that dumb after all.
I looked up the story, and apparently the snowblower was off when he reached in.
But the problem is, when it's jammed, it's still got loading on the spinning blades.
It has stored kinetic energy. So the second you remove the jam, it begins to spin. And that's what Joe Sakic found out. And
The hard way.
had lacerated 3 fingers of his hand doing it. It was very near the end of his career.
That sounds really painful, but the fact that he went on to be a Stanley Cup winning GM, I think really softened some of that blow.
I'm just going to say this. Sidney Crosby might have scored the biggest golden goal in Canadian history, but Joe Sakic is the only golden goal holder who stuck his hand in a snowblower. So who's the real winner?
That we know. Sid could have stuck his hand in a snowblower and just not gotten hurt.
You know what?
True, so true.
You know what? I firmly believe Sid is good enough to do that. So,
Sidney
Trevor,
Crosby, if he finds a jam in a snowblower, we're just gonna kick it a few times, see a rock go out, and then he'd be like, surely that's got to be it.
there you go. Trevor,
All right.
do you remember
Yeah.
Dustin Penner?
Oh God, yeah, the greatest nickname in hockey for the dumbest reason.
What was his nickname, Trevor?
His nickname was Pancakes.
And why did they
Because-
call him Pancakes?
Because the man threw out his back picking up a plate of pancakes.
Look, sometimes you get over 30 and your back just does things.
Yeah, but we're not professional hockey players. Professional athletes.
How old was Dustin Penner when that happened?
He was not young.
Okay.
So to be clear, Dustin Penner did not throw out his back picking up a plate of pancakes. He sneezed while he was eating pancakes and threw his back out.
Right.
That makes more sense to me, honestly. I feel like I could do that at any given moment.
He was 29. He wasn't even 30 yet.
Okay, that's embarrassing. I take it back.
That is, yeah.
Makes me feel so much better about myself.
I am going to tell you about David Pastrnak in 2019. So they had a team function with a sponsor where there was apparently an open bar, and Pastrnak got a little lubricated and decided on the way out that he could jump over a parking meter. And in doing so, fell on his hand and lacerated it deeply, which probably meant that he wasn't effective during the playoffs. And as a result, they didn't get the goals they needed to take out St. Louis.
You know what? Frankly, that's not the worst thing he could have done to himself.
So you're saying it wasn't Berube, it was Pastrnak.
It was David Pastrnak getting too dry, but you could see it, right? Think about how flashy that guy is. You could see him looking at, and you know what? I bet you I know how it happened. I bet you Chara was standing there and he was just like looking at it, and it was by his waist. He's like, it's not that tall. Anyone could jump over that thing. And Chara's like, but let's just see you try.
We were accusing St. Louis earlier of their cup win being a fluke, and I don't think it gets any flukier than the other team's best player cutting themselves on a parking meter. Yep.
Frankly,
berries
that
blown
feels
wide
like
open.
average, like young drunk man behavior. Like in my experience, who among us? I mean, not me. I'm 5'2", but
Not I. I have never been drunk.
Does anyone remember Corey Crawford at the concert?
No.
So the
I don't think I've
official,
heard this one.
the official story is that Corey Crawford fell down the stairs at a concert and injured himself. However, the long held rumor in the market is that he had a stage diving / crowd surfing accident at a Rise Against
yeah.
concert.
Hell
and ended up moving time.
He's one of us.
I simply have to say, like, hand it to him. Like, nothing but respect. That's amazing.
I hope that's true.
I as long as it wasn't a situation where he jumped off the stage and nobody caught him. But if like he was in the middle of a crowd surfing and they dropped him accidentally or something, like mad respect. Go for it, buddy.
How big was this guy anyway, right? Like,
I do feel like crowd
he was
surfing as a professional athlete is maybe a bad idea.
He was 216, so he's not the lightest guy to be carried across crowd surfing. I'll give him that.
No, he was not a light guy. Does anyone know about Claude Giroux and the golf club?
That's
This
a no
sounds
for me.
vaguely familiar.
I feel like I've heard about
But-
it, but I don't think I like know the details.
So in August of 2013, Claude Giroux had to have surgery on his right index finger. He apparently shattered a golf club swinging it. And I just have to wonder, how much torque do you actually have to shatter a carbon fiber golf club? I don't know.
Either he really botched a hit or he was not actually golfing with that golf club.
There was something else going on. It feels like a possibility.
Good old Claudia Gilmore.
Yes.
Thank
that
you.
was
Thank
terrible,
you. I know
but yes.
it was bad, but thank you for laughing anyway. I appreciate it.
And I said we're not going to do anyone motor vehicles, but we are going to talk about Ryan O'Reilly
We have to
Crashing,
talk
yeah.
about Ryan O'Reilly.
crashing into a Tim Hortons.
I was hoping we would make an exception for that one because no one was hurt. But he did get drunk in his brand new car that he bought and crashed into a Tim Hortons. Sorry, allegedly get drunk.
Greg Wyshynski on Yahoo
Friend of the
posted
show.
about it. Yeah, friend of the show, Greg Wyshynski. You can. He ended his article with this. Once again, people, you can visit the Tim Hortons drive-thru, but police generally frowned upon attempting to drive through a Tim Hortons. Know the difference.
Oh, he's so good.
Oh, Greg.
So that was a really good one. That's a good chuckle. Once again, no one was hurt.
His car was hurt. His brand new car that he didn't get to drive again.
No, it was his 51 truck. It was his 51.
Oh.
Yeah, it was his classic truck. There's at least
What
one
a
more I
guy.
want to get. There's a couple more I want to get to, but they're both with Sammy Sallow. So
See, all you have to do is say that name, and there's a laundry list of things that could happen because that man had the worst luck.
we are gonna.
Good old-
I'm just gonna go through his Wikipedia page because it's
Good old
wild,
one
man.
nut.
It's wild.
The man ruptured a testicle blocking a shot.
Oof.
That sucks.
Yeah, and then I think he came back like a week later to score a goal in the playoffs. No big deal or anything.
Hell yeah.
So
Big salute.
Arturs Urbe
Oh
was actually released by the Sharks after a negative season when he had his hand mauled by his own dog.
Ooh,
Yeah,
boy. Yikes.
not great.
not great.
Oh, Archie.
Oh boy. Okay, there's on this one Reddit post. There's just a lot of Eric Johnson golf.
Yes. Yeah, Eric Johnson and the crash golf cart. Although apparently there were a lot of rumors that that's not actually what happened. But he did fuck up his knee in spectacular fashion and missed an entire season. And then shortly thereafter got shipped off to the Avs.
The story of Eric Johnson tearing his ACL on a golf course. My goodness gracious. Oh, I feel bad. That's a tough one. But yes,
no one ever accused hockey players of being smart. Let's be honest.
So true. So true. Eric Johnson, horse racing is essential work.
What?
During the pandemic, he tried to argue that horse races should be allowed to go on because they were essential workers.
That is.
EJ wants to bet on the ponies, folks.
Well, he owns racehorses. He wants his
run.
ponies to race.
Oh, brother.
He names them after Avs players.
We could have an entire special issue about Eric Johnson racehorses and their namesakes.
I think that you should bring to this show the things you're passionate about because passion shines through.
Eric Johnson's racehorses.
I'm down.
We can pencil that in for a slow week. We can go through all of ERJ Stables' horses.
So I think we're going to finish this off by talking about Sammy Salo, who was injured over 40 times in his career.
Oh, poor buddy.
Yeah.
His Wikipedia article includes lines like he was taken to a hospital with what was falsely believed to be a ruptured testicle.
Oh.
Was it not?
It was not a ruptured testicle. I don't know if that means he still had testicle damage, but not ruptured, or it just wasn't the testicle at all. There's also tore his gluteus medius muscle while taking a slap shot in which he scored. So that is not to say he blocked the slap shot. He tore the muscle off the bone while taking a slap shot, but he got the goal.
At least he got the goal.
I was going to say, well, that's what really matters. I think any hockey player would agree.
What year was this in?
That one was 2809.
Yeah, so that's the Vancouver season. Kick
Yeah.
ass. He was never around. Like, he played, I think, at most, 60 games a season, but damn was he cool.
He was good when he was out there. He tore his Achilles tendon while playing floorball in 2010, and that one was so bad he thought his career was over. He ended up playing for the Moose for a little bit, went back to Canucks, blah, blah, blah. But the one I really want to talk to you about is the snake bite.
Oh, no.
So...
it's really unpleasant.
Well, he was playing golf in Finland, and he was bitten by a snake. Did you know that Finland had poisonous snakes?
I was about to
didn't know.
say.
Poisonous?
Finland has
venomous.
Okay, I know you could say that the man was snake bitten when it came to injuries, but I didn't realize it was that literal.
Yeah.
That is brutal.
It was a real, actual venomous snake that bit him. Reports vary from he was playing golf to working in a cabin. There is only one venomous snake type in Finland, and sure enough, he got bit. He ended up missing 2 games with the Senators as a result.
Oh, this is early in his career.
Very early in his career.
That's just such a wild thing to happen.
Wow.
Just absolutely snake bit. Cross-checked in the face by Rick Tocchet. Injured his groin against the Maple Leafs.
His poor groin.
Sidelined for a total of 13 contests due to the flu, a broken finger, and back spasms.
Torn shoulder because Brad Marchand's a douche.
Nerve damage in the shoulder. Yep. Nerve damage in the shoulder from a hit against the Oilers. Groin injury. The flu.
What a life this man has led.
Fractured his wrist during an intra-squad game in training camp.
Jeez,
hit in the face.
Sounds so painful.
Hit in the face by a clearing attempt from teammate Alex Edler.
Trevor.
It was
hit into the boards by Ethan Morrow. Broke a rib. Tore his gluteus medius muscle.
Every time something touched Sammy Salo, it was always a guessing game of is he hurt or not. He was an adventure to watch. Suffered
a medial collateral ligament sprain against the Stars. There's the ruptured testicle again. Oh, it's hitting the groin by a slap shot from Chicago Blackhawks defenseman Duncan Keith. So I can understand the concern. Tore his Achilles tendon. We went over that. Leg injury. They're just not even giving us specifics anymore. They're just like, yeah, he got hurt again.
Yep.
He's got hurt again. Sustained a concussion after he got hit by Brad Marchand. Minor groin injury. And then, he played his last 2 years with the Lightning, where he played 46 and 71 games. They don't say
he made
what
it to 71 games in a season.
Yeah, they don't. That was the third most games he ever had. His first season with the Canucks, he had 79. His second, 74. There were a lot of games he barely got to seasons. He barely got to 60s.
Yep.
And that's Sammy Salo, who once literally got bitten by a snake, and I guess it cursed him for the rest of his career.
Evidently.
Wild.
Man
So
could
this is-
shoot a puck, though. Oh,
Don't
man.
get bit by a snake in Finland, folks.
If you can remember some other funny injuries, jump on our Discord and let us know. Folks, any final thoughts before I close this out?
No, this was a delight.
Perfect. All right, folks.
I'm gonna go look up Sammy Salo highlights now after this.
Yeah, just look up the time he almost got his testicle ruptured.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also gonna look up the time he scored 2 goals, which helped the Canucks set a record for the fastest 3 5-on-3 goals in playoff history.
Sick.
God, what a great sequence! That's a story for another time, though.
We interrupt this podcast with a breaking news bulletin.
Florida Panthers forward Eetu Luostarinen is now out week to week after suffering burns in a freak barbecue accident. Do what you will.
All right, folks, thanks so much for listening. This has been the Neutral Zone Hotel, which is written, hosted, and produced by the Neutral Zone Hotel crew. We're at neutralzonehotel.com/Discord to join our Discord. We're on Bluesky and YouTube at Neutral Zone Hotel. Smash the like button, thumbs up, 5 stars. As always, thanks to our friend Emily Mowbray, who is not the Emily who's on this call, for designing our incredible logo. And so thank you so much for hanging out. We'll see you next week.